The advice we have is that we have not in any way affected people's human rights. But look, if people's human rights are affected by the tax treaty, they go to the courts in Gibraltar, in Spain, or indeed the European Court of Human Rights, and that will be determined in a way that is then binding on the tax authorities. But of course, a huge advantage for Gibraltar, because if something is made justiciable in the Supreme Court of Gibraltar in respect of taxpayers, a Supreme Court which has never been recognized by Spain, but is going to be binding in respect of the application of the tax treaty, another important step forward for Gibraltar. In terms of the asymmetry, this is also something that people need to understand. There is important asymmetry in the treaty, which is born out of our different tax systems. So we have a tax system that taxes people based on their money being in Gibraltar. We don't need a million bits of information about someone because we have their money as a hostage in Gibraltar and we tax their money. The Spanish tax system is different. It's based on the American system, which is the worldwide system of taxation. And those systems of taxation require a lot of information. And for that reason, they approach taxation in a different way. They require more information. And the asymmetry is born out of different systems, not out of different outcomes. That's why we're perfectly relaxed about it. And it's not in any way a concession to do it in this way.
I think the bigger picture here is that it says that it's to Spain's advantage.
Well,
that the tax treaty is to the advantage of Spain. That is what the Lords are saying.
The wider picture is the one that the government of Gibraltar sees, not that is seen by the House of Lords. The wider picture for the people of Gibraltar is understood and seen by the government of Gibraltar. And the government of Gibraltar would never, ever do anything, certainly whilst I am Chief Minister, with Joe Bossano and Jose Garcia and the Cabinet and all my other Cabinet colleagues, to favour Spain. Anybody who thinks that is wanting to believe the propaganda. Here there are two different...
Are you saying that the House of Lords is propaganda? The House of Lords is saying
saying
there are benefits outside the treaty.
Of course I'm saying that, and let me explain to you why. I am saying that because anybody who thinks that we've done something asymmetrical to favour Spain has not understood that there are two different tax systems, one of which requires a lot of information to operate effectively, the other one of which does not require that information to operate effectively because it has your money as a taxpayer in Gibraltar, either because you're earning it here or you're remitting it to Gibraltar. In future, a Spaniard will be treated in a different way because he's a Spaniard. But if he doesn't want to be treated in that way, it's very simple. He becomes a British national and then he's treated in a different way. I represent the British people of Gibraltar, not the Spanish people of Spain. If the Spanish people of Spain have an issue with the tax treaty, they should decide who they vote for. They should take it up with their authorities. It's that simple. This is not going to affect working people. I haven't seen any working person have an issue with this tax treaty. There might be some very well-off people who are not Spanish who may have an issue with the tax treaty. But look, the people I represent, I know, are entirely safeguarded by the provisions of this treaty, and I'm very satisfied with the job that we have done. When you look at this in the wider picture and you look at what we achieve and you look at it under the narrow prism of what the tax treaty does also, in the future people will say this was absolutely the right move at exactly the right time for Gibraltar, and it gives us a huge advantage as we go around the world selling our financial services, in particular after Brexit.